Welcome. This is a presentation on Hipaa compliance. Hipaa is the abbreviation for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996. The Office of Civil Rights is the governing body and has the ability to impose civil penalties on organizations that fail to comply with Hipaa rules. What's the provider's responsibility? By meeting certain requirements, providers have responsibility for safeguarding patient health information, whether it's on paper or in any other media. Hipaa creates for the first time standards that require reasonable precautions to protect individuals' medical records and other personal health information, known as PHI. This gives patients more control over their health information. It sets boundaries on the use and release of their health records, and it holds violators accountable. Patients have the right to request access to their health records, request to amend their health information, request restrictions to information sharing. It gives the patients the right to examine and obtain a copy of their own health records and request corrections if necessary. PHI, Protected Health Information. What does that mean? PHI under U.S. law is any information about health status, provision of health care, or payment for health care that is created or collected by a covered entity and can be linked to a specific individual. PHI, when it is tied to a specific person, includes diagnosis, treatment, demographic, and insurance payment information. Permitted uses and disclosures of PHI. Coordinating care with another healthcare provider, payment issues, healthcare operations, request own healthcare records, governing agency audits, law enforcement for abuse and neglect cases. Approved methods of sending patient PHI. If a doctor's office or an insurance company is requesting PHI on a patient in order to process a claim or coordinate care of a patient, do not email this information to them in the normal fashion. Email would have to be password protected or encrypted for security purposes. The way it could be sent is in a secure fax number that has been confirmed. Emails exchanged between Spectrum Vision Partners practices should be considered secure and an approved method of sending PHI. When in doubt, please ask. Tips when using electronic medical records. About your password. Keep it secure. Don't share with others. All partners, physician, and staff are responsible for their passwords. System-level passwords should be changed on a 90-day schedule. Remember, do not access family, friends, staff, or any other persons. And you have a duty to report to the compliance officer, Jane Grogan. Reminder, most systems can track all access and records, and inappropriate access is punishable by federal and state law. What does Hipaa require us to do? Treat all things we learn about patients as confidential. Casual discussions about patients and their conditions or treatment in text stations, front desk, and elevators should be avoided. Provide more control to patients over their personal health information. Punish those who misuse patient information by imposing criminal and civil penalties. Hipaa rules require us to take reasonable precautions to protect PHI. Access and release PHI to the minimum extent necessary. Track and report any unauthorized or unintended disclosure. Hipaa rules say you can't talk about patients outside the office. Physicians and staff should access the medical information that is needed to perform only their responsibilities. Keep medical records in a secure place. Take reasonable precautions. Policies and procedures can be scalable to the size and complexity of the organization. Minimum extent necessary when to store PHI outside permitted disclosures. When can we share info? For treatment, payment, and other permitted uses, when we can reasonably conclude that the person requesting the information is responsible for or involved in the patient's care. You can ask them to verify some information first: diagnosis, treatment, doctor, prior or upcoming visits, or surgery. All about breach. What does breach mean? Breach is access to PHI or the acquisition, use, or disclosure of PHI in a manner that is not permitted by Hipaa. Breach notification is the reporting incidents involving the security or privacy of protected health information. Staff must promptly report any incidents that raise concerns about the security or privacy of PHI to the compliance officer. If the person reporting the incident requests anonymity, that request will be honored to the extent practical. Alleged violations of this policy by employees will be subject to disciplinary action. This concludes our presentation of Hipaa. Please sign the Hipaa acknowledgement form. Thank you.